Minneapolis. Each night, full of gunshots, unexplained explosive bangs, police sirens, people shouting, the National Guard and State Patrol called out, enforcing a curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. The alleys and streets all across America are active through the night, with furtive figures sneaking around and raucous groups of blacks and whites in masks looking to do damage. People are looting in broad daylight. Looters, not protesters. Let's make that distinction. Protesters protest, looters loot. While all the crazy going on, protesters are gathering in peace at the site of George Floyd's murder. Tears trickle down my cheeks as I watch the protests. People reflecting on the cultural diversity of that community gathered day and night to grieve, to mourn, and protest another unjust killing of a black man. We have to change. Where is God in all this? God is in the anguish and fear of community residents. God is in the angry chants and demands for justice invoked by protesters. I feel God's presence as the tears are running down my cheeks. I witness the destruction and mayhem that engulf neighborhoods throughout our country. God sees and God knows and God cares. And I share the people's frustration and a great sense of loss beyond the dehumanization manifest in the death of this man, George Floyd. And more than just stores and businesses and terrible loss of life, at least one person I read was shot by one of the owners because he was looting. What do I see? I see the loss of community. I see the loss of trust, of having nice things in your neighborhood that you like, of familiar places, of old friends. People ask, why are they destroying their own community? People want to understand what's happening. They really ask because they care. They want to know. But sometimes there's no way to understand what someone else is feeling unless you've been in their shoes and lived their life. Imagine if you felt there was so little regard for your life that you had no other recourse but to explode, venting your anger on everything around you, even your own home, your community, and feeling that you have nothing to lose. Now, how can you understand this unless it has been you who for generations and centuries have had to endure abasement, denigration, abuse, unless it's you who's been devalued and ignored and dehumanized every day because of the color of your skin. George Floyd is the last straw, breaking the camel's back of frustration felt by people in a lot of communities. Black lives matter. Does this really have to be said? And do we have to have tension on the liberal side and the conservative side? Well, let's ask George Floyd and Philando Castile and Jamar Clark, 3 black men needlessly killed in the Twin Cities by the police in the last 5 years with little or no consequences to the perpetrators. Apparently, some lives matter more than others. One sign I read, a slogan sign, that said, legalize being black. A simple request, actually. Just stop killing black people. That's all. That's all people want, just stop. Nobody else gets killed by the police like they do. Let there be a moratorium against killing black people. I mean, schools have made a moratorium against suspending black students instead of finding the alternative ways to help them, discipline them for bad behavior. Yeah, it can be done. It can. Just stop killing black men, please. Stop killing black men. You know, it's day 9 since George Floyd was killed by the police. The brutal act that sparked that protest and riots that moved from every corner of every neighborhood to engulf the entire country, cities, major, all across the United States, the entire world. This has become a revival cause. I remember it, a rallying cry for civil rights. The civil rights movement in the 50s and the 60s, they're now rejuvenated by the protests. Remember that in Birmingham? As America and the rest of the world watched on TV the horrors of the abuse of fire hoses on people who were peacefully protesting. They had no weapons. They had dogs. They set them on children and unarmed peaceful protesters. See, I see a similar movement happening right now as this protest erupts all over the country. Los Angeles, Chicago, Nashville, New York, and other cities. The movement is now global. I was amazed. There's protests in Tokyo and London and Berlin as well. I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's what Fannie Lou Hamer said. Someone walked this earth and posed the question facing us all. How long do we wait for justice to roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream? How long? Not long. Because the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends toward justice. How long? Not long. Because no lie can live forever. Darkness can't get rid of darkness. Only light can do that. Hatred can't get rid of hatred. Only love can do that. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. His truth is marching on. Amen.
I know you're asking today, how long will it take? Somebody's asking, how long will prejudice blind the visions of men? I come to say to you this afternoon, however difficult the moment, yes, sir, however frustrating the hour, it will not be long, because truth crushed earth will rise again. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. Yes, sir. Because no lie can live forever. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. How long? Because you shall reap what you sow. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. How long? Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yes, that scaffold sways the future. Yes. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. How long? Not long. Because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Yes, how long? Not long. Not long. Because mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. Yes, he's trampling out the village where the grapes of wrath are stored. Yes, sir. He's loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. Yes, his truth is marching on. Yes, sir. He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet. Our God is marching on. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah.